Welcome back. You're listening to the Keeping Your Money Show. Everyone has goals to retire, travel the world, or buy a vacation home. Financial success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and planning. Take the first step and get your complimentary financial roadmap from Jamie himself. Call to schedule your appointment at 1-888-986-6639. And now, the hosts of the Keeping Your Money Show, Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steinler.
All right, welcome back to the Keep Your Money Show. Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steiner. If you're just tuning in, you missed the first segment. We were talking a little bit about credit card debt and its overall relationship to retirement planning and really just planning for your future overall and making sure that you take into account some of that stuff. You know, we joke about the lattes and, you know, the stuff like that. And, you know, in the last few weeks, I've been sitting down and just looking at stuff like automatically billing on my credit cards, you know, and, you know, just realizing like, oh, I didn't even realize I still had that $9 whatever that was going every month. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you'll buy something and it automatically enrolls you and you know it does, but you're not really thinking about it. And later you forget about it. And it's like, well, you know, how many times did this thing hit my card and I didn't even really pay attention to it, you know?
Yeah, and while we're doing this show, I'm sipping on my homemade iced latte.
Right.
So instead of going to the popular coffee shop and buying these for $4 a drink, I make an extra big pot of coffee, and what I don't drink, I put in the refrigerator, and I put that in a glass jar with a little bit of milk, and it tastes pretty much the same as an iced latte on a nice hot summer day.
There you go.
Yeah. For a lot less than $4.
Right. If you miss any part of the show, you can always find it on our website. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com. So the FBI came out with a report that's interesting because they didn't actually announce it to us, the public.
No.
They announced it to banks. And then somebody who worked in a bank kind of blew the whistle. And it was eventually publicized by Brian Krebs on his cybersecurity blog, Krebs on Security. So here's what's interesting about it, is it's basically a coordinated potential heist that's going to happen electronically and could very well affect you. There's not really a whole lot you can do about this particular one because this is looking to target specifically at the banks and their software and their servers and that type of thing. But it is definitely something to keep in mind. Maybe look a little closer at that online account for the next few days. Maybe look a little closer to the statements at the end of the month and make sure you recognize the transactions, because basically what's going to happen is what the FBI theorizes may be happening, and I'm not really sure why or how they know about it, but it's sometimes called as an ATM. It's called an ATM cash out scam. And what they do is they hack into the software of your bank, changing certain things such as your maximum cash withdrawal amount, maybe even your PIN number, and then they simply access ATMs across the country and take as much money out of the account as possible. Now, of course, in fraud situations, you're protected as long as you didn't do anything to make that fraud possible. But that doesn't mean the money isn't gone for a little while and doesn't cause you some havoc on your finances if you're not paying attention to it.
Yeah, I think a couple things here. One, I think it's a really good idea in today's world to put it on your calendar that once or twice a week you go online and look at your accounts and make sure that that things are there that are supposed to be there, and that things are not leaving there that should not be leaving there. So that's a really good idea. The other thing is that you have to be more prudent about incoming emails that you accept, because a lot of this,
or even look at,
right? So how some of this is happening in the banks, and I'm going to premise this by saying I'm not really an expert on this, but how some of it is happening is that inside the bank, employees are accepting and looking at emails that really they should not be accepting and looking at, and it's called phishing, and that allows the perpetrators to get into the bank computer to begin with.
Right.
Okay. So the bank employees naturally have to be very conscious of that. We are very conscious of that here. but also you need to be conscious of that at home too.
Well, and I think it's good. This is a good example, though, of what are the places that have your information, that have your money. You know, what are they doing to protect against this stuff? You know, we run regular fake attempts in our company, where we have a security company that sends emails that are of a vicious nature to see if anybody in our company will open them. If they do, all that happens is they get a message that says you need to call this phone number because you need more training.
Right.
You know, but I mean, that's one thing we do. We also do a lot with our encryptions and things like that. But, you know, don't just assume the little community bank you go to or the little community credit union you go to or even the regional bank or credit union you go to. Don't assume they're doing all of these things they should be doing. You know, if I'm going to put my money somewhere, I want to know what they're doing. You know, how are you making sure your teller that you hired yesterday doesn't give someone access to your system, you know? And because some of what's happening with a lot of this is the money transactions themselves are not electronic. So therefore, it's almost impossible for any of this money to be recovered. So depending on the size of the bank, if it was a sizable hit to them, it could really hurt their overall, you know, profitability and just the ability to stick around. One of the things they do is a thing called jackpotting, which reading this article, it's the first I'd ever heard of it. But by going into the system, they actually will program the ATMs to randomly spit out cash at certain times of day. So I'm assuming they probably do it like at 8 o'clock at night, and their people are just waiting at the ATM for when that happens. But, you know, it's not funny if you're getting your money stolen, but it's kind of funny to just think about some guy just pulls up to an ATM and it spits out 20 grand. You know, like, I mean, can you imagine being the guy that pulls up yourself, you know, and you're ahead of the guy that's supposed to get the 20 grand, your transaction's taking you a little longer and you meant it to, and all of a sudden it fires out $50,000 to you, you know?
Or that guy gets a flat tire, but there's some homeless guy who's sleeping right next to the ATM, and he wakes up and there's $50,000 there. He goes, whoa, I'm going to get a hotel room. So, I mean, I know it's you know, it's humorous to kind of joke about the idea of it, but the reality is very real. You know, I mean, the ability for people to lose money, lose data. I mean, once your information is out there, it's almost impossible to recover it. So we just have to be much, much more careful with this kind of stuff. Absolutely. And it says here there was a case of a series of attacks on Virginia's National Bank of Blacksburg over an 8-month period between 2016 and 2017, where hackers stole $2.4 million from ATMs. So, I mean,
and the crazy thing was they bulked up their security after the first attack, and the hackers still got in again because somebody in the bank clicked on another email. I mean, we've got to do a better job out there, people.
Absolutely.
You know, I promise you, there is not a prince anywhere in the world that wants to give you $10 million if you can just help him out. That they don't exist. Don't ever click on that email. Right. But you know, the funny thing is, a lot of the other emails that people are clicking on, they seem real, right? Citibank sends you an email that says somebody might be hacking your account. Click here to get more information. That is not from Citibank. It's not. You know, stop clicking on it. And when you get emails like that, call the institution they supposedly come from. That's the number one way to protect yourself. If you're under any concern whatsoever, you get an unsolicited email. It says, really, really worried about this account. Click here to make sure it's you. You know, call that company. Take your credit card out, flip it over for the 800 number, call them. Hey, I just got an email about my Chase card. Did you send it? No. You know, and then many times you can forward those emails to their fraud departments, which actually can help them in trying to figure out, you know, who's behind those types of things too.
Right. You got to be smarter than that.
All right, coming up, we talk about student loans a lot, but sadly, we're starting to see them being a large percentage, or larger than percentage than they should be, behind divorces here in this country. We're going to talk about that more coming up right on here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
There's no one size fits all when it comes to planning your future. Jamie, Bart, and all of the advisors at the Keeping Your Money Show understand that your financial goals are unique and your needs are going to change at varying stages of your life. Our team of advisors can help you tailor a financial plan that meets your unique needs. Call us today at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free initial consultation.